Remember summers feeling absolutely endless as a kid? Like each day was packed with a million moments? Now, it feels like Christmas was last week, and somehow another year has vanished. What is going on? If you've ever felt like time is hitting the accelerator the older you get, you are definitely not alone. It's a super common experience. But is it just your imagination? Or is there something real happening here? Stick around, because the science and psychology behind this weird phenomenon are absolutely fascinating. We're going to break down exactly why time seems to speed up as we age. Hey, quick question. At what age did you first notice time starting to feel faster? Let me know in the comments below. So the first major reason time feels faster as you get older comes down to how our brains process novelty. Think back to childhood. Everything was new. Your first bike ride, the first day of school, exploring a new park, discovering a new flavor. Each day, each week, was packed with firsts and new experiences. Our brains pay more attention to new information. They create stronger, more distinct memories of novel events. When you look back on a period filled with unique, memorable events, it feels longer because your brain has more markers to recall. Now think about adulthood. For many of us, life settles into a routine. Wake up, work, commute, chores, maybe watch some TV, sleep. The days, weeks, and even months can start to blend together. When you look back on a period of routine, your brain doesn't have as many unique memory markers. The routine days kind of blur into one big mass. Less distinct memories mean that period of time feels shorter in retrospect. It's like watching a movie versus seeing a quick highlight reel. The highlight reel goes by way faster. This next reason is a bit more mathematical, but bear with me, it makes perfect sense. It's called the proportionality effect. For a 5-year-old, 1 year represents a massive 20% of their entire life so far. That's a huge chunk of existence. But for a 50-year-old, 1 year is only 2% of their life. For an 80-year-old, it's just 1.25%. When you look back on a single year, your brain might subconsciously compare it to your total life experience. A year that's 20% of your life feels subjectively longer than a year that's only 2%. It's not that time itself is moving faster, but our perception of how significant or long a single year feels relative to our accumulated lifespan changes dramatically. Point 3. Memory and retrospective judgment. This ties back into memory, but from a different angle. Our sense of how fast time went isn't just about how we experience a moment, but how we recall it later. This is called retrospective judgment. When you ask someone how fast did that year go, they're not measuring it with a stopwatch. They're making a judgment based on the density of their memories. If a year was full of exciting events, travel, learning new skills, meeting new people, basically lots of those novel experiences we talked about, you have a rich tapestry of distinct memories. When you recall it, it feels full, and therefore, longer. If a year was mostly the same routine day after day, you have fewer distinct memory markers. It feels less full, more compressed, and when you look back, you think, wow, where did the time go? So the feeling of time speeding up isn't necessarily about how fast each present moment is passing, but how quickly the past seems to have flown by when you reflect on it, based on how densely packed your memories are. Considering this, do you think actively seeking new experiences could make time feel a bit slower? What's one new thing you want to try? So, there you have it. Time isn't actually speeding up, but our perception of it changes due to novelty wearing off, the proportionality of a year relative to our lifespan, and how our memory density affects our retrospective judgment. And hey, maybe it's a subtle reminder to try and inject a little more novelty into our lives. New experiences aren't just fun, they might actually help make life feel a bit fuller and, paradoxically, perhaps a little slower in retrospect. If you found this explanation as fascinating as I do, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. Also, don't forget to subscribe the channel.